Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla. So, one thing that is very common when we talk about Tesla is people don't believe Tesla will be able to do what they say they will. Like back in 2014, no one believed Tesla when they predicted a production of 500,000 units in 2020. It was absurd. But that was exactly what they did. And Tesla has just once again in their impact report confirmed their target of 20 million cars in 2030. And again, no one really takes them seriously. But they should, because Tesla is not like any other car company you have ever seen. And their new factories are modular in 4 dimensions like you wouldn't believe, and controlled by artificial intelligence Tesla has made themselves. This is so crucial to understand if you want to have just a chance of understanding Tesla as a company and what they are able to do. So in this video I would like to try to visualize Tesla's 4D hexagon cubes that their production lines is made up of, and talk about Tesla's AI that is running the company with DSM, Digital Self-Management. Because all of this flips the whole business model of how fast a company can grow on its head. So let's check it out and let's dive right in. So let's start with Tesla's AI and come back to the whole 4-dimension hexagon cube afterwards. So we know AI is hard, and that is why many companies don't use AI, or maybe they do, but it is made by someone else, like an AI company. Someone like Ford or GM or Volkswagen don't make their own software, let alone make their own AI software. And I'm not talking about the AI that's going into the cars, I'm talking about the AI used in their factories, because Tesla has made all of their software they use themselves. They don't have to go out and buy a license to a software package from another software company for every new employee they hire, because the software they use is something they have made themselves. And Tesla's full self-driving software actually comes from one of Tesla's AI system that was running the Tesla Bamboo line. That is where the car would by themselves, together with the AI of the factory, go through every test a car goes through that is non-destructive without human supervision. Digital self-management. And Tesla has evolved that AI to be all over the factory to help them become even more efficient and eliminate bottlenecks. Just as Tesla has just revealed in their impact report that they now use AI to control the HVAC system in their Nevada factory. As they wrote, we are leveraging 6 years of sensor data from Gigafactory Nevada to train an artificial intelligence program to safely control 195 interconnected HVAC units. In its first full year of operation, we have measured significant load reduction compared to baseline usage. AI control is expected to achieve significant energy savings for Tesla, as it is scaled up to control the majority share of HVAC equipment at Gigafactory Nevada, as well as HVAC equipment at the other Gigafactories. So yet another AI system Tesla has made themselves to control the HVAC system, to make them use less energy, save the money, and save the factory's overall emission. So Tesla makes use of AI, Tesla's own created artificial intelligence systems, in all of their businesses. And Tesla's specific AI team has become probably the world's leading AI team. That was also why Elon stopped at OpenAI that he helped started, to not get conflict of interest between Tesla's AI team and OpenAI team. And after AI Day, the whole world's AI engineers knew that Tesla is making real artificial intelligence, and therefore Tesla's application for the AI team did 100-fold, not double, not triple, not 10x, 100x in applications for the AI team. And as we have heard from the CFO of a successful German AI company that Connect in the Dot had talked to and make videos about, that AI is all about getting the best people. She could do more with 2 exceptional AI engineers than 50 very good ones. And now Tesla is sucking up all the AI engineers out there, as well as all the other engineers out there. And because of that simple but very, very important fact, Tesla will win the race to solve AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. Even the CFO of this German AI company believes this. That's why they have invested heavily in Tesla now, because she knows how this works. But as I just showed a couple of examples of, Tesla doesn't just use the AI for their cars or for their upcoming robot, but they use AI anywhere someone would wait for approval. Tesla has an AI system that will approve it. And that also means that for every single step of building the car to the next one, Tesla has a DSM, Digital Self-Management System, that will determine if the car is ready to go to the next process. Everything within the factory has a definition of ready and a definition of done, as Joe Justice has also talked about before. So a DSM, artificial intelligence system, can determine if it is ready or if it's done. And Tesla doesn't need humans to approve any steps along the way. That is all controlled by AI. And as Joe Justice talked about in his own video about Tesla using AI to check the paint of the cars, Tesla has an AI system checking the whole paint of the car, because that is much faster than a human expert and does not limit the amount Tesla can scale. And AI only becomes better and better down the road as it checks more and more cars, and can check a whole car in just seconds. So that is just one example of DSM, Digital Self-Management, that Tesla use in their entire factory, driven by their AI software. And this makes Tesla able to scale up much faster than anyone else, because they have these DSM systems everywhere they need some kind of approval. Something that is very overlooked by outsiders or stock analysts who think Tesla's target of growth is impossible, because they compare them to normal automakers, and nothing could be more different than what Tesla is doing and what legacy automakers are doing. This is why we see everyone else having trouble scaling up EVs in production as fast as Tesla. Their whole factory are built up to be scalable and agile like no other factory. Not just because of the AI that is practically running the whole factory by now, but combine that with the new way Tesla has invented to run a factory's production. And I'm not just talking about gigacasting, but the fact that Tesla don't rely on a production line, but production cells, and that Tesla works in 3 dimensions. Let me try to explain it the best I can, because I also have a hard time imagining how this look in real life, but Joe Justice have seen this with his own eyes and has given some of the best example of how Tesla's factories are built and works. So I will try to visualize that to make the concept of what Tesla is doing as clear as possible. So firstly, Tesla doesn't use a traditional one-line production, the traditional production line that snakes itself through the building, where if something happened along the production line, well, the whole production from that factory is affected. And every time you want to make a change, you have to stop the whole production. But Tesla doesn't do that. As Joe Justice, former head of Agile at Tesla, explained in a great interview Alejandro just did with him once again, the Tesla production map in the factory, when you look down on it from above, would look much more like a series of hexagons than a snake-like production line. where these production cells operate in these hexagons, and you can make changes to one of these cells without shutting down the rest of the production. This also means that you can make changes to a cell or many cells if you come up with new ideas of producing the car faster, for example, and that will not affect any other production in the whole factory than that single production cell you're working on. That will ramp up production of the new thing or the new way in production they have come up with and adopt that to all the other cells afterwards. And they don't even need to shut down the cell to do a test. Tesla works with something Joe Justice calls routers. They will take a car from the production cell and make the change to the car, and again, because of Tesla's AI, the DSM system, anyone at the factory can make these routers and make some test and have the DSM check if the car now runs more efficiently or get faster to build or whatever it is they want to test. And if the AI, the digital self-management system, gives a go, the people on the floor here that wants to test out something new don't need to ask anyone permission to make this change. If the AI system says go, they can just take this new change to the car and route it back into the production cell, and only then do they need to ramp up production of that new thing in that car, in that cell, and that cell will slow down temporarily, and when it's ramped up to 100%, they will implement that into all the other cells. But that's not all. Remember, Elon talked about this back in 2020 at Tesla's Battery Day.
Yeah, you can sort of think about like the sort of the fundamental physics of a factory or something. Like, I think it's actually quite a lot like the rocket equation, where you've got basically in the rocket equation you've got your exhaust velocity and then the log of the start to end masses. So it's basically saying, you know, how fast are things going and what percentage of the factory volume is doing useful work. And conveyance does not count as useful work. So
only the value-added steps.
Yeah, if you break the factory down into cubic meter sections, and say, or smaller, it could be like 1 liter sections, and say, is a majority of this volume doing useful work? You would be astounded at how bad most factories are. They're like maybe 2 or 3%, including our factory in Fremont. So I think it is possible to get to at least 10 times that volumetric efficiency. So more like 30% ish, maybe more. And be 10x better, which means the factory can be 10 times smaller. This is what we're trying to do here: is say, okay, how do we, with one factory, achieve what maybe 5 or even 10 factories would normally be required to achieve?
Yes, Tesla wants to make much more of the cubic volume of the factory do usable work. Tesla has not only made these small hexagon cubes on the floor of the factory. Tesla worked with these hexagon cubes in 3 dimensions. It is not just a production cell on the floor, it is a production cell in many levels in 3D, as Joe also just explained in his interview with Alejandro. And a great example of this is Tesla's battery production at the Giga Texas factory, where they produce the battery cells on the 4th level, lower them down to 3rd level where they put them into the battery packs that is all to the bottom of the car, and then they put them into the Hy-Vee warehouse to get curing, and when they are done and ready to go into the cars, a robot will come and pick them up on the 3rd level, drop them down to the 2nd level where we will find the general assembly line, as Sandy Monroe just explained after he has visited the Texas factory and was just blown away by Tesla's engineering here. But this is just a very good showcase of Tesla working with their factories in cubic volumes. They don't just have 1 or 2 floors, they have multiple floors, and not all over the factory. Tesla can work with these 3D hexagon cubes as they please. One can have only a production going on the ground floor in that cube, while others have 4 floors within their cube, and others will maybe grow to 2 or 3 floors, adding new capabilities in 3 dimensions to that single cube. They can grow, change and mold the whole factory as they see fit, without ever compromising the production of that factory. This is nuts, but we are not done yet. As Joe Justice also explained, at Giga Texas right now, the cubes are not put right up next to each other. There are a lot of room between them, enough room to even fit a Tesla semi-truck. And this is important because not only are we talking about these 3D hexagon cubes that can be individually changed, but some of them even move. So the 3D hexagon cube can be moved if they need to, because they kind of sit on a semi-truck size payload, so they can be dynamically moved while in production. This is just insane. The modularity of Tesla's factory is like no other on the planet, and Tesla's Giga Texas factory still feels empty because right now they only have a few cubes to produce the 4680 battery cell and the Tesla Model Y. So Tesla has a lot of opportunities to improve and expand the factory, because not only is it a very large factory by footprint, but it is the biggest factory on the planet by volume, and Tesla is able to utilize the cubic meters of volume better than anyone else, and can even expand the factory in 3 dimensions down the road if they need to. Someone like Joe Justice even thinks Tesla's factory could potentially become a 10 million vehicle production facility down the road when Tesla gets to utilize all the cubic volume of the factory. This is crucial to understand that Tesla's factory works this way, to even try to understand Tesla as a company. If you don't understand these factories and how they are run, you have no chance of understanding Tesla as a company and what they are capable of. And this is why Wall Street analysts have been underestimating Tesla. And as Tesla grows bigger and faster, they will just be even more off. And why no one believes that Tesla can grow to 20 million EVs per year. But with these production cells that works in 3 dimensions, or actually 4 dimensions, the one that moves, combined with the DSM, the AI that pretty much run the factory, and combined with Tesla's new batteries that they are producing at Texas as we speak, that can be produced at scale no other battery can. All of these things combined long term will make sure Tesla will not face the same fate as most other big companies before them. Because what tends to happen as a company gets bigger is that they will slow down and innovation goes away. But Tesla has made sure that with Tesla it's going to be the other way around. Tesla will actually start speeding up the bigger they get.
So, what tends to happen as companies get bigger is things tend to slow down. Well, actually, they're going to speed up.
And their AI that runs everything will learn faster and faster, and the batteries will be faster and faster to produce, as well as their cars that will just get cheaper and cheaper to produce. And because of the culture Tesla has built into the factories themselves, Tesla will never stop innovating and will continue to be as agile as they are today, even when they produce 20 million cars a year. Tesla scaling up is not going to slow them down, only speed things up. And this is one of the big things that people don't get, and therefore don't believe Tesla will be able to scale to 20 million cars in 2030. It seems impossible fast and has never been done before. Just like the growth we have seen with Tesla so far has never been done before. But we are already seeing it happening right now. Tesla is only getting bigger and bigger, but their growth has only been speeding up, and that will only continue. And as long as the other guys don't even know how to copy Tesla's modular 4-dimension factories, they will never be able to keep up or catch up. It's simply just not possible. Tesla's factories are an engineering marvel and will forever change how production factories work. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there and be nice.